Yeah.
Okay. Good morning. I'll call the meeting to order, the Pennington County Planning Commission for July 14th, 2025. Recommendations of the Planning Commission on certain items from this agenda will be considered by the Board of Commissioners at their regular meeting on August 5th, 2025 at 10:30 a.m. The Planning Commission utilizes speaker request forms, which are available in the commission chambers during the meeting there in the back of the room, if anyone would like to fill one out for any item on the agenda. First, roll call. It appears everyone's here, and we welcome our new Planning Commissioner, Matt Schmall. The first item on the agenda is the election of officers. So once the chairperson is elected, that person will take over the meeting and run the meeting. So I will open up for nominations for the chair of the Planning Commission.
I'd like to nominate Charlie Johnson, Chairman.
Charlie.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Are there any other nominations? With that, I'll close the nominations. A vote, please. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Charlie, you are the chair.
Thank you, Brittany. Thank you, Commissioners. Our next order of business would be to do two vice chairmen. First, vice chairman nominations. I'll nominate Mike Lewis.
Second.
Anyone else want to serve as the follow-up in case the truck runs over me? All right. Hearing no other nominations, all in favor of Mike Lewis to be the first vice chair, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. All right, we need a second vice chair, and that actually has been, we've used that last 2 years. The second vice chair has also served. Nominations are open for second vice chair. I'll nominate Lori Lutzen. And if nobody's gonna nominate, that would be my nomination.
Second.
My only comment is that I'm not here in the winter,
During the winter.
Yeah. if that matters. Maybe it should be someone who's here most of the time.
Understood.
I'm only here on Zoom.
Maybe we should throw Matt under the bus on the first meeting.
Yeah. I'll nominate Matt.
Second.
All right, Lori withdrew her nomination. And our nomination right now for second chair is Matt. Any other nominations? Hearing none, all in favor of Matt for second chair, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. I hope we all, including Matt, have you had a chance to review the June 23rd, 2025 minutes? The chair would accept a motion to approve those minutes.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded to accept the minutes from the June 23rd, 2025 Pennington County Planning Commission. Any discussion? Anybody want to change to those from the audience, from the commission? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Agenda, same thing. Did you get your package? Did you have an opportunity to go through it and prepare for the meeting? Chair would accept a motion to approve that.
I make a motion that we approve the agenda for July 14th, 2025.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve the agenda for the Pennington County Planning Commission for July 14th, 2025. Discussion from the public, from the commission. Hearing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Brittany will tell us about the consent agenda.
Good morning, Commissioners. Brittany Molitor, Planning Director. The following items have been placed on the consent agenda for action to be taken on all items in accordance with staff's recommendation by a single vote. Any item may be removed from the consent agenda by any planning commissioner, staff member, or audience member for separate consideration. The findings of this Planning Commission on certain items from this agenda are recommendations to the Pennington County Board of Commissioners, who will make the final decision. Item number 5 is conditional use permit review CUR 2319 for Spring Creek 79 LLC. Jeff Miller is the agent. It's to review a vacation home rental in an agriculture district, and staff recommends approval of conditional use permit review CUR 2319 with conditions. Item number 6 is conditional use permit review CUR 2321 for Trinity Trust. Jeff Hoover is the agent to review living in an existing garage shop building while remodeling an existing single-family residence in a suburban residential district. And staff recommends approval of conditional use permit review CUR 2321 with conditions. Item number 7 is telecommunications facility permit review TCR 23-01 for the Pennington County Fire Department and the Pennington County Highway Department to review a self-supporting public safety radio tower and equipment shelter in an agriculture district. And staff recommends to continue the review of telecommunications facility permit TCR 23-01 to the July 28, 2025 Planning Commission meeting.
Thank you, Brittany. Anyone from your staff or yourself would like any pulled?
No, not at this time.
Chair would recognize anybody from the commission that would like one pulled for discussion. There are none from the audience. That would be items 5, 6, and 7 that were just read. Hearing none, chair would address a motion to approve consent
Move
calendar.
approval of the consent calendar.
Second? All right, discussion from the audience, from the commission. Hearing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Move on to item number 8.
Missing one of my pages.
Good morning, Chris.
Good morning. Good morning, Commissioners. Christine Phillip, Assistant Planner. Agenda item number 8 is for conditional use permit COCU 25-0013. This is to allow an accessory dwelling unit on the subject property. The applicant owners are Jennifer and Jason Wright, and they are actually in the audience if you have any questions. They're at 6310 Longview Road on 1.93 acres in a suburban residential district. They access the property off of Longview Road, and there's no flood hazard on the property. The zoning ordinance lists 7 criteria that the Planning Commission may consider in their review of the conditional use permit application, and the County Planning and Zoning, Section 324 lists 8 criteria that must be allowed for an accessory dwelling unit. They're supposed to be displayed on the slide, but they are in the packets. The interdepartmental review was routed. The comments were received are in the packet for review. The applicants have requested a conditional use permit for an accessory dwelling unit. The floor plans are 700 square feet. Staff has not received any comments or concerns regarding the applicant's requested use. Staff recommends approval of conditional use permit COCU 25-0013 with 12 conditions.
Thank you. Any questions for Christine? Go ahead, Mike.
Stupid question. You have 2 pictures here. It looks like there's a RV or something, and there's a garage, and what's what?
And they also, there used to be a shed there that they took out, and then there's RV, but it will go back in this
And
spot.
what is this now?
There is an RV there, but
Yeah.
that's the spot that it will go back in that area.
So there's nothing built yet.
No.
And then the other one, that's the house where the car is in front of it?
Yes, there's a house with an attached garage.
Okay. Okay, that's all I need. Thank you.
Thank you, Christine. In other words, I did think, right, they're putting it where they removed that 800 square foot shed?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? Anyone from the audience that would like to speak on this? Chair to address a motion on this request.
I'll move that we approve conditional use permit COCU 25-0013 to allow a accessory dwelling unit with the conditions. It
Well-
looks like there's 12 conditions.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve COCU 250013 with 12 conditions per staff's recommendation. All right, discussion from the audience. Anyone here would like to speak on this? Yes, sir.
Is this regarding the one?
You have to come up and introduce yourself just for the record.
This is still about this one.
No,
It's that
oh,
one.
no,
Yeah.
that's what, that was my question.
Yeah, it's the accessory structure.
Sorry.
All right. Anyone else from the commission? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Chair would like to ask for a waiving of the rules motion from one of you members in a second, and I'll explain in the discussion.
And I need to make a correction, because I believe it's number, is it the number 9, the one that you, or number 7?
We'll get it handled right now if we can get our motion from the members. It has to come from the commission. I would like to have an opportunity to waive the rules, and I'll explain why when I get there.
I make a motion that we waive the rules?
Is there a second?
Second?
Discussion. There's not much to discuss until I tell, huh? All right. Someone in the audience didn't understand they have an opportunity to pull an item that was on the consent calendar.
Okay.
And they would like to pull item number 7, I believe. Am I correct, Jerry? And we'll get it right.
I believe that's what they had said.
Okay. All in favor of the motion to waive the rules and allow the person to pull item number 7 for discussion? Anyone from the audience? From the commission? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Now, we will have to present item number 7 as normal. Thank you.
Agenda item number 7 is TC. Sorry, let me pull it up here.
2301.
Yes, TC 2301. It was a previous approval for Pennington County Fire and Highway to allow an emergency telecommunication tower off of Creighton Road. I guess I want you to continue it because during a site visit, there was no address posted on the site.
That's the only basis of the continuation right now?
Yes.
Thank you. Any questions for Megan? Okay. Now you can sure come up on item number 7.
Good morning. My name is Bryson Schwartz. I'm a resident of Big Bend Road. Can we get that map back up? I guess I'm getting kind of confused on what is actually up for debate right now.
Hi, you're on agenda item number 9,
Yeah.
which
We're
is
on 9,
next.
okay.
No, so 7 is a telecommunication tower for Pennington County Highway and Fire. It's way out past Wall, so
Okay.
like north
Yeah.
of Wall.
Okay.
We're looking for
That's-
number 9.
That's where I was getting kind of confused.
Yeah.
as to
There- there is-
what was actually up for debate.
Yeah, there was some miscommunication. They thought it was item number 7, but now they're realizing it's item number 9.
All right.
Oh,
Now, we are stuck in a position we need to approve that separately. Does everyone on the commission understand that?
Yep.
Anybody question that? You certainly have a right to. All right.
so
Chair would accept an motion to approve item number 7 separately.
I move that we approve the staff's recommendation for TC 2301 to continue it to the the July 28th meeting,
Yes.
because no address is posted.
Yes, which it is now, but
Well, I mean,
it
when
was
the
too
inspection
late.
was done, I guess I don't even need to
Yep.
say
I
that.
need a second
Yeah.
first
Second.
before you
Yeah,
discuss.
yeah.
Thank you.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded to approve per staff's recommendation, item TC 23-01, and continue it to the July 28th meeting. Discussion from the audience. from the commission.
I have a question.
Sure.
Can you get the gentleman from T-Mobile here, who's the contractor, so we can ask him some questions?
So
That's
that's still
number 9.
agenda item number 9. We're still on 7.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
That's still agenda item number 9, and we're on 7.
Is
So
that
we're
item number
moving on-
9?
we're
Well, we
moving
got
on-
a picture of it up here. That's the reason I jumped up.
Yeah,
so.
we're moving on to 9 now.
Okay, all right, I got it.
Thank you.
Any other from the audience? Thank you, Megan. I was just about to get him to introduce him, but we'll let him by. Hearing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. So everyone here understands why we ask you to introduce yourself. There are people listening to this that may not, in fact, see you. And they have to realize that it's a person. We're not disguising ourselves and going down there and talking. All right, thank you. Now we're on to item number 9, is that correct?
Yes.
Thank you.
Megan Talmadge, Planner. Agenda item number 9 is Telecommunications Facility Permit, COTCP 25-0001, and it's to expand the leased area of an existing telecommunications facility. The applicant is T-Mobile through UCI2. The landowner is Mark and Christine Frederick. This is located at 13100 Big Bend Road. There is no flood hazard on this property. The criteria for, this application meets the criteria for approving a telecommunication facilities. This is an existing tower, so there is some grandfathered items coming in. The tower itself is not going to be affected other than adding the new equipment from T-Mobile, but that's a standard building permit. The telecommunication facility kicked in when they proposed to expand the leased area. So on the screen, I do have their original leased area and then what they are wanting to expand on. A new facility is needed for this, for these upgrades, because the other facilities are a little bit older, and to allow for new technology, they're wanting to build a new facility. So the tower itself, other than the equipment, is not being affected, but the leased area will have a new structure, and it will expand on Mark's property.
Questions for Megan? I have 2. I believe I read it's a 104-foot tower was
Yes.
what was approved. My second one is, when some of the equipment that they don't any longer use has been outdated, will that then come down, or?
Yes, but this is, T-Mobile's a new addition to the tower.
All
They
right.
did have a building permit back in 2022, but it wasn't fulfilled, so they're coming through and reapplying again.
All right,
So right now, it's Verizon and AT&T on the tower, I believe, and
All right. Understood. In other words, they had a joint agreement that it didn't materialize. Now we're coming back, and
yes,
they would like to work together.
I believe so.
Thank you. Any other questions for Megan? Okay, I'm going to open it up from the audience, just one at a time. Don't feel a bit, we do this regularly every other week, and there was no problem with an error having happened. We're going to move on. So if you would like to speak now on item number 9, which is 25001, come forward. Please introduce yourself just for the record.
So, good morning, my name is Bryson Schwartz. I'm a resident on Big Bend Road, 13137. So as far as this proposal, I never received a certified letter regarding this hearing. I am also the president of the road commission, so I feel that would have been justified even if I'm outside of that radius of that area. But I have some issues regarding the first buildings they have up there. When they came through, the trucks that were carrying the piece of equipment were not suitable for our road. They ended up driving off the road and had to be pulled up the hill with a wrecker, which caused significant damage to the road and to my yard personally, because they had to drive wreckers through my yard. I'm just curious, what additional structures are they gonna come up there? What are they gonna do as far as any damage that was caused, because when they first did that damage to my yard, all they did was send somebody down to just rake gravel out of my yard. They didn't do any remedial ramifications for the ruts they had caused, any of the grass that they had torn up. So I'm just asking what steps are in place right now as far as this proposed expansion that's going to help alleviate some of those issues down the road.
Okay. And your name's Bryce?
Bryson, Bryson,
S-O-N?
last name Schwartz.
And I've got it right here. So what you're saying is you're concerned about a repeat of the trucking operation, especially since they're also asking for an additional building that they'll probably bring in. That would have been somewhat of a heavy truck, bringing in the building already built.
And I have photo evidence from the first ones when they went up, if you would like to see that.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
But from what I understand, the people that originally did this were
Would have been.
Verizon and AT&T, and this is another company, right?
Yep, so I believe that it was Simplicity Towers who originally put up the
Oh,
tower
okay.
and did all of that.
So it's a new tower company.
Yes, well, I mean, so how these towers work is that there's a private company that puts it up and then
lease
everybody
space.
leases off
Yeah,
of that
yeah.
space. So overall, it is Simplicity Towers, which is where all of those contracts would come through.
Okay.
The individual carriers, I'd have to check to see who exactly built those buildings.
So who's in charge of bringing T-Mobile's equipment? We don't know who's going to be doing that, is that correct? Or is it going to be this UCI too? Are they the people that are going to bring T-Mobile's equipment up there?
I believe that they're the ones who are just contracting this. I don't know the exact contractor yet
Okay.
on who's bringing up that,
Okay.
who would construct that facility.
Would it be appropriate to put a condition in here so that they understand property damage, their responsibility for that? I don't know, I'm asking you.
I guess that I'm not sure 100% what I can require
Yeah, I don't.
on property that isn't the
Can I
property. that we
interject here?
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not sure we could with a road district. A road district is its own separate governing body, but we could make it that they have to contact the road district and work in conjunction with them. And what I was going to say is, anytime you bring an item to the meeting, it's expected that it should be here more than 24 hours in advance, but that's all right. That's the only reason I hesitated.
Okay.
You can turn those in to Jerry that's over there, or the planning desk up there. They'll copy them and make them part of the record for you as part of what you presented.
Okay.
And they then are allowed to use them in their, Megan would be allowed to see them and put them in the file and that sort of thing.
Okay.
So that would be my only hesitation in accepting them. Now, we're supposed to be furnished all copies if you do that.
And that's where, when I wasn't made aware of today's meeting, other than Tony was talked to with my neighbors, that I'd never received a certified letter that today's agenda was this tower, or this tower was even being proposed, because I guess the only posted sign is kind of off in the woods.
All right, and I'll answer that one. They have limits of who they can, it's basically spit out by electronic media who they properly notify to meet the requirements of the laws that are involved in here. And yes, you may not have been involved. As far as being a road district in the area, that's one we probably should have caught that. Maybe just didn't because we didn't realize a road district existed right there.
Okay.
That would be, I'm saying, we certainly try to get a hold of road districts. It just didn't happen this time.
Okay. And that's,
So if you would submit those pictures so that they could copy them before you leave the building, we'd appreciate it.
okay.
Mr. Chair, can I ask you a question?
Well, and we're back to now whether you want to add something that they have to work with the road district or at least meet with the road district.
And I wanted, what road district are you with? I don't see, I can't tell from the map.
Big Bend Road District.
It's called Big Bend Road
Yeah.
District? Okay.
Thank you, Bryce.
What do I,
That thing, the speaker request thing?
Yes.
Just give it to me. We'll get it in the record for you, Bryce. Thank you.
thank you.
Yes, sir. Please come up and introduce yourself just for the record.
My name is Phil Nichols. I'm a retired consulting engineer, electrical, mechanical. I did buildings for 52 years in this area. I came to the Black Hills in 1949, so I'm probably the oldest resident of the Pennington County here. We live, my wife and I live along the property between Shields Road on this drawing up here and Rimrock Highway. And we have 4 properties up there. And our main property looks right up at the cell tower. And I was not here, we did not own that property when that cell tower was built. Otherwise, we would have probably been a thorn in the side. My problem at looking at this as a consultant, working with architects and engineers and contractors for 52 years, is I have a little spidey sense of contractors that are covering something up. And I would like to see exactly from whoever is in charge what they are planning on building up here, because we have a direct sight of this tower. And my neighbor here actually owns part of the property up there, and I think Dale's gonna speak next. But that's what I would like to have is somebody tell me where I can go and what I can look at as far as what T-Mobile is planning up there. So right now, I don't know, and maybe nobody in the room knows, but I can't give them, if I have anything to say, I can't give them carte blanche to build whatever they want to build up there, because it is scenic Rimrock Highway. And we just certainly would have said no cell towers up there. Do you have any questions of me or not? Okay, thank you.
Philip, just before you go down, you could, a copy of UCI's.
You're going to have to talk louder because I'm.
Yeah, I was just checking with the boss here. UCI, which is the actual, what I would say probably performs the building? Is that, or their engineering firm?
The construction service.
Right. Actually made a listing, and we could get you a copy with some pictures,
Okay.
so that you could leave with that, at least. As far as asking their presence here, is anyone here from UCI or T-Mobile today? Okay, we don't have anybody for that, so I was trying to answer your question, but we could get you copies of that. That's part of the record right now.
Well, I've worked with cities, counties. We did the courthouse in Custer. The architect that did that actually did this, and he's been a client of mine for
Okay.
15 years or so. We've done multiple projects together. And we've never given somebody just carte blanche to put something in its place, in a place without our supervision or whatever. And in this case, I realize I have very little power over it because I've given up my license and I'm not a professional engineer anymore. But I'm a mines graduate. I'm a graduate of Rapid City High School. I've been here for a long time. And I actually drove on Rimrock Highway in 1955 working on Pactola. And I drove on Shields Road because that was Rimrock. So I go way back and I've got a lot of money invested in this. And whatever goes up there could affect our value.
Okay.
So,
Let's get you a copy of this. I'd give you mine, except that I got to still run the meeting, Philip, so. But it, just between you and me and the fence post, you did a wonderful job of presenting yourself. So I think you're certainly qualified to review these, and we'll get you a copy.
okay.
Megan, can you handle that, or whoever you would like to handle that, please, so that
I'll
he
talk
could
to
get a copy to review.
I'll talk with you after the meeting and so.
Thank you, Philip.
Thank you.
Go right ahead.
Hey, and Megan Talmadge, planner. I just want to clarify that this isn't on the tower itself. This is, it's pretty much a canopy and an ice bridge that they're wanting to add on to this tower. So the tower itself is not being affected other than the new equipment that will be added in relation to those facilities. But again, that's a standard building permit, not a TC permit.
In the one building, it looks like it would be we've seen them moved in as pre-designed and
Yes.
manufactured, what would you call it, switch units? They're all the switching and electronical
Yes.
things that have to be protected from weather are usually in there.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
can I ask a question? So, I mean, there's already like 2 buildings there, and these guys have a new building, so is there essentially going to be a building for each company? Like Verizon's got one, T-Mobile's got one?
I'm not sure.
Don't
if-
know? Okay.
I'm not sure if each particular building is assigned to specific companies or if there's space within that building. But this is specifically for the T-Mobile cabinets.
Okay. And when you say that, it's not really affecting the tower, well, it is because they're adding panels and stuff to the tower. Can you say anything about the equipment, how it's going to change the appearance of the tower so that we all understand? Is there going to be big white things where there are little ones? Or when you say a canopy, I'm thinking like an umbrella. That's going to look different.
Yep, so that's going to be on the ground.
Okay.
The tower itself is actually, it looks like a tree.
Yep.
So for the most part, the panels shouldn't be visible, but where exactly they're going on the tower, I'm not sure because there's usually 3 main places on these 100-foot towers. There's top, middle, bottom.
And then there's the furry green things that cover it
Yeah,
up,
exactly, yep.
Okay.
Thank you.
I was just trying to
Yeah,
see if
you're
you
fine.
could answer
Thank you,
some of the
Megan. We
questions.
still have one more speaker and we'll get back to you.
I
You have to reintroduce yourself for the record.
have to say this. is
Philip,
that,
you have to,
we're-
Philip, you got to reintroduce yourself.
We're in the pine tree area. The
Philip,
tower is a spruce tree.
Philip, you've got to reintroduce yourself just for the record.
Phil Nichols,
Thank you. Now go ahead.
retired, mouthy. The cell tower is not a pine tree. It's a spruce tree hiding in the pine trees.
Yeah, made out of
I
metal,
just
all
had to
right.
say that, so.
Thank you.
Okay.
And there was another gentleman would like to speak? Nope. Okay, there's one over here. Please, go right ahead. We don't limit who can speak.
Kelly Jensen, I reside at 13115 Big Bend Road, which is Lot N, the adjoining property. And I know this probably isn't a matter for you, but I have been, since the cell tower went in, I have been fighting with Altel, and I think it was AT&T at the time, over an access agreement. They crossed my property. You can see the 25-foot roadway easement. That's actually my property. There is an existing easement for the property owners for ingress and egress. My attorneys that I've spoken to over the years, so they need their own agreement. And I know this is enough for you to decide, but just so you know that there is ongoing litigation over access to that tower.
Okay.
And that's all I've got to say.
I've got one question for you. Are you going to be like the other ones? Would you like to speak to them? Okay, that's all, you answered my question. We're not going to make the meeting longer getting into what?
Hoping they would be here.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else like to speak? Please introduce yourself just for the record.
Yeah, good morning. My name is Dan Lundeen. My property, right at 13112 Big Bend Road, and my property adjoins the proposed lease property that they're doing there. What my concern with that, when they put up the first tower, I was against it. They're putting something commercial. We've got a beautiful residential area there. We've got, there's about 13 homes that go in that U shape, and that's totally residential. Okay, then they bring in the tower, like Bryce had said, they screwed up the road. We did find out about 5 years after the tower was in that they nicked my power line to my shop. And then I tried to find out, when they were boring under the roads, I tried to find out who had done the boring, and talking between the Fredericks, whoever, AT&T, whoever was up there at that, we don't have any idea who did the boring in there, so you're just screwed. So I did my own repair and all that. Okay, that's fine. That stuff happens, big deal. What I'm looking at myself is, we've got a nice residential area there. Now they're adding more commercial into that. Now, is that, when they put in the first one, like I said, I was against it. Right now, maybe 1 or 2 pickups go up there a month. Okay, that's no problem at all. They go up to the shed, do whatever they have to, and drive out. Okay, what's gonna happen now? What more is gonna be going on with this, as far as what's gonna be messing up our property that we're proud of, and that we're trying to have in a beautiful setup, and it is very nice up in there. And then also, we're talking about the road. We just got done spending over $50,000 having that road resurfaced. They did a real nice job on the slopes, the banks, and now if they come in, try and pull in equipment like they did, or if they're gonna be constructing something, we'd have more stuff going in and out of there. We're just concerned with what's happening and what they're trying to do to our place up there. We're trying to be nice about it. The guys have worked, I know there's been problems. Yeah, they put the branches on the tower so it looks like a tree up there. You know, they've done what they could, but we're just concerned about, it's just a continuous thing of what goes on. Okay, so they did that, they're gonna do 1 or 2 more buildings under this. They bring them in, what's gonna happen to our road? Because our road is different now than it was at that point as far as the curves. So if they're gonna try to pull in some longer building with equipment like that, we're gonna have the same kind of problems. It's just concerned about what's up there and why. You know, sure, they have to have communication. But we were told nothing other than us receiving, and then my son lives adjacent to it. He didn't get his letter till yesterday. So if we were gonna try to give any kind of notice 24 hours, you know, that couldn't be done either. But all we were told is that they want to change the lease. There was no other information given to anybody around there. And that's pretty much what more of us were concerned about, what in the world's going on? You know, I guess that's as much as I'm gonna rant about what we're doing up there. We're just trying to keep our place what it is and not making a commercial production going up in there all the time. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Questions?
Mr. Chair, can I ask a question? I remember a tower proposal several years ago where the reason the residents were concerned was because they didn't feel that additional services were necessary. I don't know, do you guys not use cell phones? You have
Oh, no,
landlines or?
That part of it was not, as far as, you know, the ones that I talked about, that one, we just didn't want the tower right there.
But,
You know,
I mean, do
We
you,
would hope they would put it about 200 or 300 yards away, coming in from a different property. Because right now, all the traffic going up there, and you look at that, and if we want to be really mean about it, we could fight, well, they've got the access to it. Let them make their road from Highway 44 up the side. You can see what you've got there. You know, keep going up.
So this is all that I have.
Okay.
so you're not questioning whether or not there's a necessity for the tower?
No, it's just,
Okay.
what's going to happen now to us? What's going on next? That's what we're looking for. It just keeps going on and on and on. That's what we don't want. You know, we know we've got to have this tower. We had, you know, if they would have moved that 300 yards to the east, made it 20 or 30 foot taller, they could have had a different spot. And none of those vehicles, none of that would be going through our property.
Okay, so you're concerned about the damage to the road and
Oh,
you're
we're just concerned
and you're
about-
concerned
yeah.
about what
And
the
what's
actual
all happening
is.
to it.
Okay.
Yeah, and sure, they could say, yeah, we'll fix it afterwards. And we've heard that before, too. So, thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. You guys know me, contrary to my normal processes, I'd like to see the commission do a little discussion on what we've heard. I'm going to stick up for planning. Notices that go out are pretty much prescribed by a different level than we deal with, the planning deals with. In other words, when it says 500 feet, it isn't like what you and I think of 500 feet. It's where the machine selects 500 feet, the electronics do. The timing of them, I've got to stick up for planning too. There's regulated timing, and some of the people do not get these until very close to the end, but it's required by law, and that's what's followed. So, and it has to do with the publication of these. So that you understand that that was not done as something to try to hide or slide something under the door that you didn't get to see. I'd like to hear some discussion, because it certainly sounds like we might look at a continuance to at least have somebody here and answer some of these questions for the folks, but that's my opinion. Go ahead.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
Megan. Is it typical that an applicant would come when you're presenting, or?
It is. I at least thought that Mark would have been here because he asked for the time and date and all of that, and I had thought that one of them would come on over Zoom, but I'm a little bit surprised that no one is here. Generally, I tell people that they should come even if it looks like there's going to be no questions, because I can answer questions on zoning, I can answer questions on, the plans that I have, but I can't answer questions on, what the property owners have for them today.
All right. So as a follow-up, I would suggest that we continue this until the applicant can be here to answer questions.
Is there a second to that?
Second.
Moved and second to continue. We need to put a date on that for now that we need to review with them. Would you give me a date, Jerry?
Well, the next meeting for Planning Commission is July 28th. The first meeting in August is August 11th, and then August 25th.
What would the motion maker like for the date?
28th.
Okay, that's what it is.
Mr. Chair,
Yes,
can I ask a
discussion.
question? Can I ask a question? You said Mark, and that would be the property owner?
Yes.
Is it typical that like a company like T-Mobile or their representative would come to you in addition to the property owner?
Yes.
Okay, that's normally what we would expect? Okay, thank you for clarifying that.
Okay, under discussion, my biggest concern was we are the final action on this, as I understand it, and that concerns me when it doesn't go on to the commission where more people have a right to challenge companies for questions. So that's my biggest concern here today, so,
And Mr. Chair, one follow-up.
go ahead.
Getting back to that comment, and so when I talk applicant, I'm also referencing the company. And so I've been to these hearings before, and typically the company will have a representative come in and present as to what the project is, because again, the landowner that's giving up the lease is not going to be able to answer all these questions. So I would reach out to whomever is in charge of this project and the lease agreement to be here, at least on Zoom anyway, to answer questions, so.
Okay, additional discussion from the public. Hearing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. We're on to item number 10.
Morning, Commissioners. Jason Thennison, Assistant Planning Director. Agenda items 10, 11, and 12 all have to do with the same property. I don't know if you would like to hear them all together or if you'd like them separate.
The chair made a decision that the one that involves the PUD amendment should be discussed separately, because there were some things that members came to me that they didn't understand that all involved that number 10 item. So what you're speaking about will probably come up on 11 and 12. Thank you.
Fair enough. So 10 and 11 together then?
11 and 12.
No, just 10, the amendment
Okay.
will be separate.
Okay. Agenda item number 10 is Major Planned Unit Development Amendment 0303 to amend an existing planned unit development in order to remove the subject property from the planned unit development. Applicant is Kristen Bennett, Haven Homes LLC. She is in the audience if you have any questions for her. Location of the property is 22611 Hazel Lane. It is currently zoned planned unit development district. Access is off Hazel Lane, which is in a road district. There's no special flood hazard area on the property. Just kind of the bottom line on this. Back in 2013, the Board of Commissioners did rezone Lot 4. You can see highlighted on the screen. All three of these properties were originally in this planned unit development. So they did rezone that and remove it from the PUD. So that left lots 2 and 3 in this PUD. The applicant is requesting to remove herself from the PUD. She has plans to subdivide. Staff did approve a layout plan in May of this year to subdivide into 2 5-acre lots. She also does have a variance request in with staff at this point to exceed the 40-unit rule. With that, I'll stand for any questions. This PUD doesn't have a lot to offer beyond an agriculture zoning district, but it will leave Lot 3 as the only lot in this PUD, if approved.
Questions for Jason from the commission? Okay. Number 4 was removed, way back in 13 as I see it. So that's gone. That we're not dealing with. And you know how just pictures, actually I'm one of these people that gets goofed up by pictures, so I have to turn them the right direction and everything, Jason. We're really just talking about lot number 2 here from the rest of the pictures. Is that correct?
That's correct. That's the subject property.
Okay, I wanted to make sure that I came up with that one right. And then my last question would be, this involves a PUD that was put together under, what, a couple of 3 times ago, our PU system? Or in fact, people took PUDs just to produce other end results, I guess would be the way to put it. And didn't these lots end up in that in the first place?
Yes, the only special criteria that I could see in this PUD when it was originally formed was to allow a guest house on the subject property. But that was it.
That was family, I think, at that time, wasn't it? It
I
was
couldn't
even,
speak to that.
or future family. Future family. That would be a more appropriate way to put it. Then my last one would be, it's where it sits, if you took it out, and that's what we're talking about, what's the involvement? Because again, the road district's a separate government entity and the 40 units and all that, and how'd that come about? In other words, did they add these at the time, or did they break them up later? What did they do? Do you know?
I don't know when these lots were platted exactly. I would assume it was about that same time, back in 2003. I can tell you that there is already access to Lot 2. The way that the applicant is providing to proposing to subdivide this, the access will be shared off of Hazel Lane.
And then, so 4 probably doesn't have its access off of Haven then, does it? Let me see if I can get back to, yeah.
Leave Lot
4
4 takes its
would be-
access off Merchant Road.
Yeah. No, yeah, it wouldn't be. Doesn't look like it. Looks like it's on a section line where there could be, but there probably isn't any road there, is there? And it was already taken out.
Lot 4 takes access off Merchant Road.
Okay. That's all I had. Anyone else? All right. And I'm not sure I'm correct here, but I have a number of people in this, whether they want to talk. One listed, I have Diane. Did you want to speak on number 10?
Mr.
Please,
Chair,
and you must introduce yourself. Yo,
I have one more thing to
Oh,
add real quick. Sorry, I forgot
Diane,
at the
just
end.
wait a moment.
So the applicant was required to mail out certified letters to adjoining properties within
Right.
500 feet. I did get those receipts this morning. I know there was some discussion from a property owner
Right.
before the meeting, but those did go out. She did post the sign, according to her, on July 3rd.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Yep.
And Diane, you need to introduce yourself
Diane
just for,
Altman.
thank you.
I own Lot 3. And just for the record, Lot 4 access, there's a gate off Lewis, not Merchant.
Off of Lewis?
Yeah.
Okay.
On Lot 3, I have not received a letter. None of us have received a letter. He said he received receipts, but I checked with the neighbor on the other side. I have not received any certified letter about this. I didn't even realize we were in the PUD. This is all leading up to her wanting to divide the property, which will come up later, that we're opposed to. I know this got sent to our road district. In this area, this didn't quite show it, we have, we're Loveland Canyon. What's the name of the other one?
Loveland Canyon Road is
No, I know ours, but over the hill.
Loveland Canyon Estate.
There is Loveland Canyon Estates, they're over the hill, there's a group of homes there. We've got Merchant Estates, and then we have 3 houses that are off Daybreak Ridge. And then there were lots 2, 3, and 4. We were kind of the outliers. So there's really not, this will have to be part of the other variance request. There's, as far as what the commission approved for Merchant Estate lots, where she's doing this, I know, to try to get, to divide the property, which we're opposed to. We are limited access, one way in, one way out of there. It's, Merchant is a county road, it's a gravel road. The road district starts on Lewis, it's kind of shared with another development there, and on Hazel. So I guess that's why the road district was approved. But I guess I don't know where those letters went out. You said they were, you have receipts? None of us have received them about this. So certainly less than 24 hours. I checked with the neighbor who's on the other side of her property. She had not received anything as of today either. So I guess I don't have a lot of argument of what the PUD's about. I didn't even realize we were in one. My goal here was, I just don't know why the only reason I know she's doing this is to be able to divide this, which I will be opposed to. And the road district is opposed to, and it's mostly because of access issues. Fire danger, just, I said we have one way in and one way out.
Questions for Dan? Go ahead, Mike.
So how many residents are on this
Right
dead
now,
end
we
road?
have, in Merchant Estates, there are 12. The Loveland Estates are 13. The Loveland Estates, nobody can divide, nobody can subdivide. Merchant Estates, that was set and approved by the commission back in between 2001, 2005, and it was all because of access issues, because at the time when it was being developed, somebody was up there wanting to do lots more, and it was limited because of that. And then the 3 houses on Daybreak cannot divide either. So we're also concerned about precedence up there. So that's my argument. I said it's mostly access. We don't need more houses up there. People are on wells.
But it appears, for what you said, to be 28 properties?
No, there's.
You said 12 and 13?
Yeah, there's 13 in the one area, we've got 12, and then the 3, and yeah, that's, I don't know where this
That comes up
40
to
unit thing
28.
came in, because it was approved later to say no more than 12 up there in Merchant Estates. They originally wanted to divide more, but yeah, there's not, is that not right?
42, I believe.
42?
There
Okay.
are not 42 up there. If she's counting our phone, we have a community phone thing, and that are people that are down there off Pinecone, which doesn't attach to us. It's people that are off a Norris Peak. We have 42 in our phone list, but there are not 42 up there.
There's not 42 up there, but they're in the list. What is that?
That's because it's just our community, just a danger, if there's a fire, if there's problems going on, we've got a neighborhood call list. There are 42 on the neighborhood call list. There are not 42 in that area that we live in.
On that dead-end road, there's not
Right,
42.
no, there are not 42.
Okay.
These are people that are in the vicinity, but
Okay, good enough, thank you.
Thank you, Diane. Yep, my next one's Dessel Peterson. Please come up, introduce yourself for the record, and speak.
Dessel Peterson, Desyl Peterson, 22598 Hazel Lane. I'm kitty corner from this property. I don't have a lot of issues with this because my issue is the variance, and that's not before you. That is before the county board, as I understand it, August 5th. And I did not know that until I got the agenda for this. I went online and looked at the agenda for today's meeting. I thought they were all going to be on this particular meeting today because we did get an email from Kristen saying that there was going to be a meeting on the 14th. So I knew to come today, even though I also did not receive a certified letter. And I'm kitty corner, touching the property on the corners. So I would have thought that we would have gotten a notice too.
Prior to today, you haven't received it then yet,
Just the
Dessel?
email. I just got the email.
Just the email.
I did not receive anything
Okay,
else
thank you.
besides that. And, this is very confusing to me, why there is a planned unit development if we're going to have just one lot in the PUD. If this is amended and it's removed out of the PUD, then we're just going to have Lot 3 as a PUD, and that doesn't make any sense to me why you would have a planned unit development for one lot. I don't understand that. And I want to make sure that what happens today doesn't impact the variance discussion, because that's the one that I think most of us are concerned about, is having more than 40 lots on a dead-end street. And Diane is confusing you, I'm sorry to say, with, we have a neighborhood call list. But there are 42 lots off the end of Hazel Lane, and well, the whole road district, there's several roads. So she does need a variance because there are 42 on that, in the neighborhood, although they're not all developed yet. So my primary concern is that what you're doing today doesn't affect the issue of the variance, because that's what I really want to talk about, and that I understand is before the county board, not before this planning commission. That would be helpful for me to understand why the variance is in front of the county board, but not in front of you folks. If there's an answer to that, I would appreciate that. And then my other concern is...
Jason can handle that one,
And then the other concern I have is...
and I had a question for Jason anyway.
And the other concern I have is, why would you end up with a PUD with just one lot in it? That seems very strange to me. So that's what I have.
Yep, of course. So the PUD amendment, the rezone comprehensive plan, the planning commission sees those to make recommendations to the board of commissioners, who makes the final decision.
Okay.
So all 4 of these requests will eventually be approved by the board of commissioners.
Then what is happening today, will that affect, it's just a recommendation you're saying today, so the county board still has to make the final decision on all 3 of these?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, I appreciate that. And then if you would clarify that there are 42 lots, correct?
That was my last count, yes.
Yes.
Just a minute, Dessel. Any questions for Dessel while she's up here? Thank you, Dessel.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Jason, my question was, if this is removed, the way they're set up out there, and I just know you're going to know the answer to this, will they still be part of the road district then? The way, was that lot voted into the road district originally by the original owner or whatever?
As it sits today, it would have had to have been.
Oh, okay. That's just something I want to know. Sometimes I just had seen another one where they looked at removing somebody, but they had no other access out. So I don't think you're legally going to get rid of somebody in a road district.
Yep, so the PUD amendment doesn't have anything to do with the road district.
Right.
The zoning doesn't.
No, I understand that, but I meant that, in other words, when they formed it under the county rules, each county had its rules, somebody voted for that piece of property to become part of the road district.
Correct.
Okay. Any other questions for Jason while we've got him up here? Anyone else in the audience who would like to speak on the matter?
Yeah, Mr. Chair.
Go ahead.
Can I ask a question? Let's see, the woman who was just up here, Dezel, asked about the variance. Is that correct, that the variance will be heard by the board? I guess I missed that.
August 15th, I believe.
August
August
15th. Do you,
5th.
I'm looking right now.
do you know when we heard that? At what meeting? I was just kind of looking back at my
Planning
notes.
Commission.
August 5th.
We did it on August 5th?
No, the planning
No, no, no.
commission.
No, it's going to be by the Board of Commissioners August 5th.
Okay, all right, thank you.
It hasn't been done yet.
That's what, okay, so that is accurate. It's going to go to the
It is
board
scheduled.
August 5th.
Is there a separate mailing goes out for that one, Jason?
Yes.
Okay. The only thing I can add is the same thing I told the other folks. There's a really short period under the law anymore about it, and it looks like the U.S. Postal Service must be getting slower and slower, because it sure seems to affect us on these things a lot more. Maybe we're quicker than them,
Yep.
if
Cody
you
did,
can believe it.
Cody did check into the certified mailings with the receipts that we have here, and they are still working their way through the Postal Service.
That's unfortunate, because here we are with it on our schedule, and we don't try to bury it for anybody so that they can't find it. That's unfortunate. Especially when, you suppose it slows it down being a special, it used to be you could buy the return receipt things without the certified. Maybe that, now that they've got them, you can't buy them separate, as I understand it anymore, Jason.
I'm not sure.
So that may have slowed it down, because certified means somebody's got to walk up and get a signature from somebody. Where the old days, they'd tear off the postman, remember that, would tear it off, just stick it back, and he'd return it. But now they won't allow that anymore. So that may have slowed down the process. We may want to look at something over that, but we can only make recommendations. Is that correct on that? You understand what I'm talking about? The state decides the procedures.
Yep, it's codified law requires that the mailings are sent out 10 days prior to the hearing.
Does everybody in the audience understand? We have to follow those procedures, and that's the way it comes out. So maybe the post office now has changed theirs somewhat. Well, thank you, Jason. Want to make a motion and discuss, or you want to discuss now? Chair's open to either.
The 42 residents on the dead-end road, I guess, is my concern at this point. Where do you stop?
You're meaning with a possibility that we don't know of in the future of allowing one more?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I don't see any problem on acting on these. It concerns me that, as the chair, that these folks haven't received their letter yet. Thank goodness they're here, and there may be other people that haven't received them that would also like to be here, but we do have, the variance will not be until the 5th of August before the board, which I'm sure this is all going to come up again, especially since that's an issue we've heard about from our testimony here. Chair to address a motion. We have to act on this in some manner. I'd make a recommendation. I think the witness Dessel gave us an address. I think we should act on this, get it out of the way. It's done. She'd be out of the district, and then let's discuss when we talk about rezoning and whatnot. We do realize that the commission holds a very key element of the combined thing. But that was what the chair would think. I think we should act on this and get it out of the way. but nobody will make a motion.
I'll make a motion. I'll make a motion that we approve Major Planned Unit Development Amendment PU 03-03 per staff recommendation.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, moved and seconded to act on, let's see, PU 0303 per staff's recommendation with 5 conditions. Discussion from the audience. Yes, ma'am, sure. You have to introduce yourself again for, oh,
Altman.
okay.
So where does that leave me then? I'm that lone property.
You would be the last remaining parcel in that PUD.
That just kind of seems stupid.
You have the option to rezone as
To
well.
remove it, yeah. You can,
All right. So how does approving this affect her future request for a variance? What is this, how does this?
It's a separate
I can answer. That's one step in the process of her request. That's about all it is. She has the right to want to get out of that as a property owner. She doesn't have to if we concur with it. If we don't concur, then certainly there's other options.
All right.
Dessel, please introduce yourself again for the record.
Dessel Peterson, I just don't understand why you guys don't act on variances. It doesn't make sense to me that you're acting on 3 of the things, but she needs the 4th one, which is the variance. That's the one that is the bigger issue for all of us.
I can help you,
You
Dessel.
know, why don't you act on this?
We're a function of the County Board of Commissioners. County Board of Commissioners has decided that they, because of planning and zoning, that we have a citizen-based commission. We do have one liaison member always from the commissioners here. That we act and make recommendations to them on how to deal with planning and zoning issues of the property. They opt to keep the one for variance, control of the variance. And they certainly can decide to put it down here or keep it. At this point in time, it rests in the coffers of the commissioners' approvals and disapprovals. And I think that's to provide a consistent control over it. In other words, would it all change how it's approached if all of a sudden 7 members decided to look at it differently than the commissioners? And a variance, once it's approved, goes into effect.
Okay.
So that's why it's the system they've operated on for years here in this county. It isn't done everywhere.
But I guess I'm also having a little confusion as to why you don't make a recommendation to the county board like you are on the other 3. It sounds like these are all recommendations to the county board.
related
So
to
the-
zoning.
I can,
Yeah.
Brittany can do that one, but the truth is, it's because it's a variance, but go ahead.
If I may, Chair, Brittany Molitor, Planning Director. So the Board of Commissioners acts as the Board of Adjustment. They have made the decision to keep that. They can designate the Planning Commission as the Board of Adjustment. However, we did ask them at one point last year, and they want to keep that under the Board of Commissioners. So the Board of Commissioners is the Board of Adjustment. So the Board of Adjustment is what hears the variances. So they never come to the Planning Commission. It's only heard under the Board of Adjustment.
All right. So then what you're doing today does not really impact the question of the variance. That's what the board's going to address. Okay, that's my concern. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dissel. Anyone else?
Mr. Chair, just
Yes.
one thing. What can you or can't you do if you're in the PUD? What difference is it going to make if they're?
I'm going to let Jason.
Yep, so in your packet, I have the conditions of approval. And in that packet, it also had the previous conditions of approval. There's not a lot of difference functionally with this PUD in an agriculture zoning district.
Well, that's what I thought.
Yeah. Said the only nuanced condition that was in there previously was concerning the subject property to allow that guest house.
Actually, and what I understand, basically, when these PUDs were done, it was to allow them a certain amount of control over their destiny of what they were going to do within the particularly announced piece of property. For instance, developers, engineers, this sort of thing, that then they came back to the county planning and either got approved or didn't approve through them. It's to shorten up the process.
Chair, if I may, again.
Yes.
Brittany Molitor, Planning Director. Some of these older PUDs, they use them to get uses that our zoning ordinance at the time didn't allow. So this one, for instance, we didn't have an ordinance on guest houses. So in order to have a guest house, they created a PUD to have one. We have other ones, older ones, that before we had VHRs, they would create PUDs to have VHRs. So these are some of these old PUDs that created uses that weren't addressed in our ordinance prior. So that's essentially how I'm understanding this PUD, is that they wanted to have a guest house or allow guest houses on these lots, and the only way to do that was through a PUD.
They could even, Kevin, they could even go as far as taking and changing setbacks if they got it approved through the planning department. Because of development commitments they had maybe for their roads or how they had it laid out. So there was a lot of things that were, what would I say, at least not, and they didn't have to send out a letter to everybody to do it. They didn't have to, it was already an approved block of property that had these rights.
Well, and that's
In
what
this
I've
case,
seen.
it was 42 lots.
Yeah, and that's what I've seen in PUDs before, is that, you know, it gives you, again, extra things that you can do, but this one doesn't appear to me to do a lot of extra things.
Any other questions for Jason from the audience? Go ahead, Mike.
I have one for you. I'm having problems with this 40 units, now 42. Do I vote no on this one? We have two more to go. Which one would be the best to vote no on?
Chair, if I may.
Yeah,
This request
I've
in
got
front-
an answer to that, but I'm not sure that it wouldn't violate the law doing it that way. Go ahead.
Sure, the request in front of you right now is just to amend the existing planned unit development. That's what you'd be voting on right now. The rezone comprehensive plan coming up are going to be separate considerations. So right now, what you have in front of you is just to remove this lot from the planned unit development, and that's it.
So
The
you're
variance-
comfortable?
The variance shouldn't even be discussed at this point, because that's a separate consideration on August 5th.
My advice would be, and this is just from me, I didn't contact an attorney. I believe the request for the use of the property fits under here. The other ones, the 40 units, seem to apply to the zoning and the other two. And the reason being of the 40 units comes into place there. That's my opinion.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
can I ask a question? So actually removing the lot here from the PUD gives the person less options on what to do with the property and possibly not subdivide, correct? So it's reducing that there could maybe be more stuff on that lot at some point in time? If they're out of the PUD now, or?
It could be more restrictive. What
Yeah.
she's seeking is a ranchette district in the following requests.
Yeah.
So it may be more restrictive in what she can do on the
It
property.
may be, so it may actually reduce the number or the future number of things going on there, correct?
Correct.
So are we done then?
I'm going to have Brittany advise you one more thing, just so you know, before you vote on this.
So even if she rezones to the ranchette in the next item, she would not be able to subdivide unless she got the variance. So even if she subdivided to a zoning district that would allow 5-acre lot sizes, that doesn't mean that she would be able to unless the variance was granted.
And remember, the variance is in the
Commissioner.
auspices of the Board of Commissioners, not us. Don't let it involve your thinking on this. All right, we do have a motion on the table, correct? And it was to do per staff's recommendation with 5 conditions. Is that not correct? I just wanted, okay. Additional discussion from the audience, from the commission. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Now we're on to item number 11, and I believe you...
Mr. Chair, I make a motion that we discuss agenda items number 11 and 12 together, but vote on them separately.
Is there a second?
Second.
Been moved and seconded to discuss items number 11 and 12 together because they are similar and related items. Chair agrees with that, and it must advise you that it has to pass by a 2/3 vote, and the items will still be voted upon separately. Based on that, is there any discussion from the audience, from the commission? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? You can discuss item number 11 and number 12 together.
Okay. Agenda item number 11 is Comprehensive Plan Amendment COCA 25-0007, and that is to amend the comprehensive plan to change future land use from Planned Unit Development District to Ranchette District. Agenda item number 12 is rezone CORZ 25-0009 to rezone the Planned Unit Development District, or from Planned Unit Development District to Ranchette District. Again, the applicant is Kristen Bennett under Haven Homes LLC. Location of the property is 22611 Hazel Lane. Currently zoned Planned Unit Development, access is off Hazel Lane. There is no special flood hazard area on the property. When staff considers rezones and comprehensive plan amendments, we do take into account zoning designation comparison, which is on the left-hand side of the screen. We also take into account surrounding zoning and future land use within 1/2 mile, which you'll see on the right-hand side of the screen. A little redundant, but I do create maps as well. You can see the current zoning on the left, future land use on the right. Currently, there is agriculture in light green, rural residential in yellow, planned unit development in blue, and open space in dark green. And as far as the future land use goes, you can see a lot of that agriculture district has changed to ranchette. There is also rural residential, planned unit development, and open space in dark green. We also take a look at roads and street. Hazel Lane is within the Loveland Canyon Road District. It is a 66-foot wide platted right-of-way. About 18 feet of that is a paved surface. As far as infrastructure goes, it is private on-site wastewater and private water. Property specifically, there is a single-family residence that was built in 1890. There are about 5 outbuildings on that property that were built between then and 1960. There is also a current on-site wastewater treatment system and an operating license. Also a vacation home rental license on that property. The request was sent out for interdepartmental review. The Loveland Road District did provide objections that are in your packet. There were no other objections or concerns received from that routing. Just to kind of run through staff's analysis of this, the applicants are proposing to subdivide the subject property in order to create lots 2A and 2B of Merchant Edition Number 2. Both of these lots will be 5 acres, and staff did approve that layout plan in May of this year. Applicant has also applied for a variance request to allow more than 40 dwelling units on a dead-end road system. You just heard the planned unit development amendment. Approval of this request will allow the platting process to continue and the subject property to be rezoned to a more appropriate zoning district. Staff did receive one letter of opposition from to this request from a neighboring property owner, and that is also in your packet. With that, staff finds no significant issues with the applicant's request, as it appears to be in harmony with existing and future land uses in the area. And with that, staff would recommend to approve Comprehensive Plan Amendment COCA 25-0007 and rezone CORZ 25-0009.
Questions for Jason? I've got one just to open up with. On the May 15th on the layout plan, that's under the new administrative style rules on that layout plan? Okay.
Correct.
And you didn't encounter anything that was major in that particular thing, I guess?
Well, I did. That's what's kind of generated.
Oh, that's
these
what's
requests
generated
today.
all this? See, it was lucky I asked, huh, Jason? Thank you. Go ahead. Anybody else? All right, we have speakers. Diane, you signed up for this one, too.
Yeah, because I didn't realize it was 10:11.
All right, well, Dessel's, all right, that'd be fine, but if you'd like to speak on number 12 when we get to it too, I'll bring it up. Dessel, go ahead. You have to introduce yourself again, Dessel, thank you.
Dessel Peterson, 22598 Hazel Lane. I actually have no objections to what she's proposing to do in terms of the zoning of it. I think that's probably just fine. It's the variance that I have the biggest concern about, and
Right.
that will come before the county board.
All right. Questions for Dessel? Anyone else from the audience? Okay,
Diane Altman, 2260.
thank you, Diane.
Lewis. Part of me thinks there's no objection, but the other part of me says this opens the door to that variance. It opens the door to one more house, which just sets a precedence. And I understand we're not hearing the variance, but I think this is a step into that. So I just want that on the record.
Okay, Diane, and I can advise you that on these particular items, these will be recommendations to the Board of Commissioners that do decide the variance. Anyone else? Chair to address a motion.
Well, I'll move to amend the comprehensive plan unit to change from future to planned unit development ranchette district for COCA 25-0007.
With no conditions.
Second.
Moved and seconded to pass or go for staff's recommendation to approve comprehensive plan amendment COCA 25-0007.
Mr. Chair, can I ask a
Yes.
question? Do we have anything that will help the audience understand that, the weight of these decisions, how the board looks at when they hear the variance? Can you say anything about that? Any of you guys?
I guess I'm not understanding the question.
Well,
In a little bit.
yeah, go ahead.
I actually believe, I know they are in a different position. The Board of Commissioners are elected officials.
Yeah.
And they come from specific districts that they represent. And you have to assume those people have contact with people in those districts. And that they listen to them. They certainly don't have to vote along with them, but they listen to them. And I believe that it's usually reviewed. In this case, these particular items actually helped a couple of people that oppose the items. Even though they didn't get their letters, they're here. Our system worked, in other words. I guess I'm going to say that I count on that our system works. They don't always agree with our recommendations either, let alone those citizens that testify. So that would be my answer. I think they consider them. Our commissioners are 5 distinct individuals across the board. And I wouldn't venture to say which way any commissioner was going to vote on anything. They're pretty individually representative when it finally gets down to these items. So that would be my answer to the question.
So I think, just so I understand what you're saying that if they see that we make a recommendation to rezone to a district or whatever, that they look at that as like just another piece of data, right?
Correct.
Yeah, it's just another thing going,
That 6 members of the public that were appointed viewed it and thought it was good.
Well, and
they
again,
may see something that's not so good.
the staff looks at it and goes, this seems like appropriate rezone for this area. So we recommend it's approved because that's what's going on in the area anyway.
Okay.
Chair, if I may again, Brittany Molitor, Planning Director. So Commissioner Litson, to answer your question, the lot size is just one criteria in the land use. So when we look at it, the ranchette land use, like that zoning district, is probably more appropriate up there because of, it's a more of a residential use. Ranchette does allow some animal keeping, things like that. So that's what we look at outside of just the lot size. So again, we feel like the ranchette district is in alignment with how land is being used and how people are using their properties in that area.
Thank you.
Any other question? Any other discussion from the audience? From the commission? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carried. On to item number 12, and again, we can discuss it after a motion, before a motion, chair will accept either. Item number 12 is the rezone itself.
I move to rezone Planned Unit Development District to Ranchette District, rezone CORZ 25-0009 for staff recommendation.
Second.
Moved and seconded to approve per staff's recommendation, Plan Unit Development District, rezone to Ranchette District with no conditions. The number is CORZ 25-0009 to open discussion. Rezones, just for the audience, cannot have any conditions. It is not allowable. So, just so you know. Discussion from the audience, from the commission. Hearing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. On to item number 13.
Cody Sack, Senior Planner. Item 13 is conditional use permit, COCU 25-0012. It's to allow a contractor storage yard on the subject property. The applicant and landowner 63 Industries LLC, Clyde Lip and Mule Eater LLC. So just a little update. The Board of Commissioners continued the mining permit to the August 5th Board of Commissioners meeting. So staff is going to recommend to continue this conditional use permit to the August 11th, 2025 Planning Commission meeting.
What was the second one?
Staff's recommending to continue this to the August 11th, 2025
Okay,
Planning
so
Commission meeting.
it does fall after the determination on the first one.
Yep.
And that was exactly what we had asked for.
Yep.
Was that not correct?
Correct, yes.
Thank you. So the commissioners do listen to us. That answers one of the questions that came up. So they did it so that we could handle ours in an appropriate manner too. Thank you. Any questions for Corey while we got him up here? Chair, address a motion.
I make a motion that we continue to August 11th, COCU 25-0012.
Second.
Moved and seconded to continue conditional use permit 25-0012 to the August 11th meeting of the Planning Commission. Discussion. There is no audience from the commission. Hearing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. I gotta make sure we don't need an executive session. County Board report.
The County Board report, the Board of Commissioners concurred with the Planning Commission's recommendations from the June 23rd Planning Commission meeting.
Questions? We got the one, main one, and that was what did they do with the mining permit? So that was one of the ones I wanted to know. Any other questions from the public? They're gone. Staff, got any questions for us? We operating right? Did we do this one today right? It was a little sticky.
Good
but-
job, Charlie.
Well, just a bit of advice here. Sometimes you need to look at these and whether they fit, whether it's a property owner's right. In other words, to move forward. Certainly the variance is up for grabs, and they all knew it. So they pointed it out to us and to see what it would affect the other property owner rights. Well, I think we acted appropriately, so. Items from the membership. Motion to adjourn is, there's one around.
I move we adjourn.
Second?
Moved and seconded to adjourn. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are now adjourned.
There you have it.
I kind of wondered if people didn't walk out of.
Thanks.